All right, you guys, we got this bumper relatively close. I got one more piece put in before I weld it all the way out. I told you guys I wanted to run a bar kind of up like this, and then across, and then back down over here. So we got to kind of figure this out. So this is the piece I got. I'm gonna try to see if I can set you guys up here so I can explain this. Hey, look at that. So when you're bending like a full 90, you know your overall measurement from one side to the other. So it's easy to bend a full 90. When you're going in at an angle and you're trying to hit a height, it's a little more difficult. Literally, I don't have a height that I'm really shooting for here. I just want to be below this blinker, and I want it to be at a little bit of an angle. So I kind of marked the tube right here, thinking that I want it somewhere in that area, height-wise. So I'm going to literally put this in my bender with this at the very edge of my die, hoping that I can bend back this way, get the right angle, and I have enough tube to do the same thing on the other side. This is more of an eyeball technique. I'm sure you guys, there's way better ways to do this than what I'm doing. If it's a straight 90, it's super easy. The measurements are there. My instructions don't really tell me how to do this. If you want a certain width, it's pretty easy to do. You leave your length, you're on each side long, and let's say you wanted 24 inches. You set that at 24 inches, you'd move back your 2 3/4, then you'd bend towards the middle, and you'd get somewhere here in the middle, you'd be about 24 inches. Depending on what angle you're at, it kind of throws off the measurement in the middle because you're kind of compensating for that edge. I hope I'm explaining that enough. I'm literally, you guys, I know I want it about yay high. So I'm gonna put this right in the edge of my bender, see where that kind of lines up on my die and what it's gonna look like height-wise. Because you guys can see this piece of tube I have, it's pretty close to fitting across here. Once I start bending this, it's gonna get shorter. I'm gonna run out of tube, so I'm gonna end up somewhere back in here. I have a feeling. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it or not. That's why I'm gonna start my die right here and do the bend this way. Then I'll compensate from this end back to try, I really want it to line up right there. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Whoa, sorry guys. I'm not 100% confident this piece of tube is even close to being long enough. It literally should be about a foot longer to make this work, but I'm gonna try it anyways because it's a piece of scrap. I have it laying here. I don't have any other tube. So we're gonna give her a shot, see what happens. So literally, you guys, I said I'm gonna line this up with the end of my die. So there's the end of my die. You guys, literally, you have to have this amount in here. If you're bending a full 90, this thing will literally, as this hydraulic pushes this way, if it gets to the end of this die, and you don't have enough material, let's say you cut this back in here, it will literally fling this die across the shop. I know because I've done it one time and I learned my lesson. I never did it again. I was trying to make something work because I only had so much material and it scared me. I almost hurt myself and somebody else, so I never did it again, and I will never do it again because there's a lot of pressure here, you guys. It takes a lot to bend this. This is Schedule 40 pipe. It's like anywhere from 120 to about 140 wall, depending on where you're getting your Schedule 40 pipe from. That's why like most of the stuff I get around here, it's about 139 wall. So I always put my seams to the inside too. So let's see if I can find the seam on this bad boy. So here's the seam right here. I always put it at the inside of my bins just to make it a little bit stronger, you guys. I wish I could use DOM, or I think it's called HDM tubing. I don't have that die. This is what I got, so this is what I'm using. Literally, I've never had an issue with it, you guys. I know a lot of people out there are gonna comment and say I'm crazy for using this, but it's what I got. It is what it is. I mean, I've had winch cables come back and hit this stuff and not move. I've rolled that Jeep twice, and it's all made out of this at like 60 miles an hour, and nothing moved. So I don't know. Maybe I'm a little nuts, but that's what I'm using because it's what I got. So, until I can afford all the fancy stuff, this is what we're doing. So I'm gonna get this piece, I'm gonna bend this one side, and then I'll get back to you guys. I don't have a stand or anything, and my GoPro is about to die again, imagine that. So, I'm gonna shut this off, I'm gonna bend this piece, set it up there, see if I can, if I have enough tube to match the other side. I don't know if this is long enough, you guys. I'm a little skeptical. So what I am gonna do is I'm gonna kind of take my sliding T-bevel, and I'm gonna kind of hold this up here and get a rough idea of what angle I want, what I'm kind of looking at. I'm thinking I'm gonna go this way though, because I want the long side. I want it about there is what I'm thinking. It comes straight across and then back down that way. Yeah. That's what I'm going to try to do, you guys. Let me get this side bent, and then I'll see if I got enough over here, and I'll let you know one way or the other. If not, I think I got one more. Yeah, over on my bench over there, I got one more piece of tube. One or two. I think there might be two over there. They're both pretty short. Obviously, you guys know I need a lot more to build this roll cage, which I will be ordering eventually once we get through this. But I'm hoping that piece will get me across here. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. So here's somewhat of the look I'm going for. What I've done, this is like a seamstress tape measure. I use these quite often on tubing and stuff. So what I've done, so I marked the edge of this grill right there on my tube, and I've measured back. So I went this way, measured back over it, so it's like 4 and whatever that is, I don't even know, like 1 click. So I marked that, and then I marked the end of my tube on the other end. It's like 7 and 3/8. These aren't even 8s. I don't even know what these are. Let's see what they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they're 8s. Sorry. So we're at 4 1/8. I didn't look at the tape measure before I started talking to you guys, and it's really hard to run without a. So we're at 4 1/8 right there, and at the end we're at 7 and I think 3/8. Yeah, 7 and 3/8. So by marking this, you guys, and using this, trying to use this, everything's fighting me today. I don't even want to roll up. So anyways, so I marked the grill right there. I measured back to, that's where my die hits on my bender, and I bent this way. So I marked this side of the grill, measure back my 4 1/8. I'm gonna put this in my bender here, and I'm gonna bend back this way. You guys notice there's a cut on this side. I'm gonna have to fudge this a little bit, but I think, literally, I think it's gonna work. I think we got enough. Someday I can put a light bar in here, is my thought. So yeah, you guys, seamstress tape measures, like super awesome. There's probably a different name. That's what I always call it. It's like what sewing people use to measure out their material and stitch stuff together. Like, I have one of these all the time. I actually have multiple of them. I think there's centimeters on one side. Sorry. Inches on one side. I think this is, I don't know what this side is. Centimeters. I don't ever use that side. I only use the inch side. But yeah, it's easy. So I marked that. Went back to the mark that I put when I put it in my bender. Gosh, I hope that makes sense. That sounds really bad. So essentially from here to where my die was at in my bender, I put that mark. I marked this grill right here, measured back, marked the grill right here, measured back, so I know that's where the front of my die's got to go on this side to make the same bend that I just made there. We're gonna bend the same angle. We'll see where this cut ends up. I think I'm gonna be a little short, so I'm gonna have to either bend more or lower the tube. I'm gonna have to fudge just a little bit somewhere, but this is a piece of material I got. So what we're going with is what I'm gonna use. So we'll get this stuck in here, opposite direction, you guys, so you can see my bend went that way, because I had it this way. Now I flipped it. I'm gonna set it in there, and I'm gonna bend back towards the center. Every time this bender, you bend towards the center. So I gotta carry my marks around so I know where I'm at. So let me set you down here. Maybe I can sit you over here on the beep. You guys can watch me do this. Hey. Maybe. Marker. Alright, so I'm just eyeballing my marks around. You guys, this is nothing critical. If I was trying to, like, you know, duplicate this, I would not be doing it like this. I'd be running tape around it, I'd be measuring, I'd be doing all sorts of stuff, but this is just an eyeball. I'm just trying to get it close. And go from there. Like I said, this is a one piece of material I have. I don't want to waste it, so we're going to use it on this beep, and it's going to be what it is. I'm going to double check one more time with my measurements here. Gonna be close. We'll see. We might end up throwing this away or using it on a different project, but we're gonna try it right here. Pin in. Let's see. I gotta check one more time. Make sure I'm doing this right. This is a little bit of a science, you guys, I'm not gonna lie. Over there. There. So I put into that. I just got messed up. Good thing I thought about that. Oh yeah, we're gonna be short for sure. Thanks. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Alright guys, I had to think about that a little bit. So, I put this on the edge of my die right there. And I bent this way, so, no, that's, yeah, I put this on the edge of my die. By edge of my die, I mean this tang that sits out here. This is the actual edge of my die. So the tang, edge of my die. So this was at the tang, this was at the edge of the die. I bent back this way. This is the edge of the grill. Coming back this way, edge of the grill. So this should be edge of my die. This mark should be the end of the tang. See what's the problem? I'm gonna be short for sure. I think we're gonna bend it anyways, you guys, and see if I can fudge it a little bit. I may have to cut this back. It may not line up right here where I want it. It may be down in here, but I don't really care either way. Well, I kind of do. I'd rather it be right here. I just think it looks cooler there. Coming up, over, and back down. We'll see what happens. I may be able to spin this 180, tip it forward a little bit, and this will line up with the other piece. We're gonna bend it as it is and see what happens. If I waste the material, I waste it. Literally, it's going in the garbage if I don't bend it, so we're gonna do it anyways. Wish me luck. Thanks. I'm gonna show you one more time. So here's my mark. You guys can see how short I'm gonna be short. We know we're gonna be short. That's essentially the end of the tang. That's the edge of my die. That's the edge of my grill. Same thing over here. End of my tang, edge of my die, edge of my grill. So we'll see if this works. We're gonna have to probably dink around with it a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. To get our height and our whatever, it's gonna work. We're gonna make it work. It's gonna work. Because I ain't buying another piece of material. Using our level on the other side to make sure our leg is not high or low. We're gonna level that side. Oh, it's pretty close. My eyeball's been pretty good lately. Ah, overdid it. Underdid it. All right, we're there. Wish me luck. Same angle we're gonna go for. Hey, that's looking better. There she is. Much better. Okay guys, I'm gonna go over and cut this off at my line because this is actually just a little bit long right there. I'm gonna cut that little piece off. Even though I'm short here, then we'll start fudging it side to side, see where we're gonna get. Yay, you guys are still with me. We got 13% battery life left. Kind of what I'm going for, you guys. You can see I'm short. We knew we were gonna be, we'll see if I like this. We'll keep whittling at it. It's gonna end up down on this piece though, for sure. You guys can see I'm short. We knew we were gonna be, we're way short over here. Look at this, you guys. I mean, there's at least an inch there. I think what I'm gonna do is probably measure from here back, because I know that's my mark. I'm gonna measure from here back, cut it off. Same thing over there, and it's gonna mount to here. It's gonna be what it is. I'm not gonna buy more material. This is what's going on there. Plain and simple. This is what is going there. I don't know, I might be able to, no, I can't even tip it. Poopy. I might just cut it this way, you guys. Mark the angle this way and cut it off. It's gonna sit where it's gonna sit. But now you guys can kind of see what I was going for. I think it looks cool. I'm gonna have to probably tip this forward a little to get this grill past here. So it's gonna have to sit more that way, so that that part of the grill can get by it. So it's gonna be somewhere in there, somewhere-ish. But yeah, off-road meets Formula One, Jeep meets BMW. Yeah. Way out there, I know you guys. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait to drive this thing when it's all done. I don't know how many years I'm gonna hold on to this thing. I may sell it, I may give it away, I don't know. I gotta admit, it is one of the funnest things I've built in a while, so that thing was awesome though. I love that thing. My little Jeep, yeah, it's pretty cool. But we're gonna get this one going too. We're gonna have a perfect trip. No, that one's not perfect. It's not even close. I'm actually eyeballing another Grand Cherokee. I lost my Audi, so the turbo went out and I don't think I'm gonna fix it. So I'm eyeballing another Grand Cherokee on Copart, and I think I'm gonna make that my daily driver, and I may just sell my Audi. I don't know. Or I might drive the Jeep Grand Cherokee for a while, fix the Audi later, and then take all the parts out of this one and put it in the new Grand Cherokee, because it's the ones I'm looking at has a 5.7 Hemis. They don't have to do the mechanical side of it, it's just fabrication side of it. So I'll put all the 1-ton stuff in my 5.9 and the 38s. I'll ditch all this as much as I don't want to, because I've had that since I was 19. But I don't like doing mechanicing, I like fabricating, so I'm going that route. I don't know, you guys, if I'm gonna make it or not, but let me get this bumper finished up and we'll deal with that problems in my life later. I pulled this bumper off the Beep. I'm just going through and fully welding everything out. I got some grinding to come back here. I'm gonna smooth out these corners. A couple little touch-ups. I think I'm gonna cut this off right in here because I don't really need it. And there's nothing really to hook to, and I don't want to make a little patch. I'm just gonna cut it off. Yeah, I just don't need it. That's just how wide the plate was. So I'm gonna come back through and try to cut it off somewhere in here. Yeah, we'll see how far back I cut it. I don't know, I might just leave it. Doesn't hurt anything being there, but I just don't like it. I got a couple welds left. I got to do this joint right here, and I think I got a joint over there I got to weld. But we're getting close. But the good thing about it was, while I was, the first thing I did this morning is I went and made this. It says, be an adult, not a kid, hit the toilet, not the lid. I drew this up a while ago. I just never really cut it. I didn't have any material. And this is like MDF, you guys. I was just doing a practice cut to see what it was going to look like. But it was kind of cool because I had this up there in my CNC running while I was down here working on this. You know, this was like my ultimate goal, to make sure I want to get something where I can run like full production on that thing. So I come up here in the morning, fire that thing up, and it's cutting, making me money while I'm down here working on this kind of stuff. You know, like my Beep, I want to make a cab over truck too. I got a lot of plans in my head that I want to build. I just need to get to the point where I can do it, stay home all the time and do this. So yeah, it was kind of neat to just, you know, sitting here cutting away on my router and working at the same time. So making double money essentially, although this was just for my personal use. But I did get it cut out today, so tested it. I got to go get some decent wood. Like I said, I want something a little bit better than that. So yeah, that's where we're at. I think we're gonna close this up, finish welding the bumper. I'm thinking about making some inserts for it. I really want, they have this like octagon graded metal. I might look that up. I think I'm gonna fill all the internal pieces with that. We'll see. So I got my bumper all welded out. I got it mounted back on here. I'm working on mounting the grill. What I've done, I drilled 2 holes right through here. That sits down on this angled piece right here, you guys. I searched around for some bolts. The only ones I could find were these. They were long enough to go through that tab and get through into here. They're at 8mm. I did not have an 8mm tap, so I got my rib nutter out and I put 2 rib nuts in here to bolt the front of the bottom of this grill down. Then we're gonna make some, I think we're gonna use the stock bars to go back to those to mount off of these little tabs here. That's how the stock Jeep grill mounts. So I think we might put those back in just to make it look stock. So we'll see. I might either do that or I might build another bracket coming off here to hold the top side of the grill. We'll see where I get. But literally that's what I did. I just took my rib nutter and put those in. One thing I'll tell you guys, I got this Harbor Freight. These things are freaking awesome. I put all my rib nuts and all my dies for my rib nutter in here. This thing is sweet. It literally, there's 2 of these here and they clip together. So you slide these and you have a separate one there, but they all interlock together. It's actually pretty freaking handy. I wasn't sure how well I was gonna like it, but I'm digging it. I've used this a few times on this car already and it works pretty damn well, the rib nutter does, and then having all this just like ready to go is great. So if you guys end up buying one of these, I think we've had the link to this rib nutter. That's my rib nutter right there. Maybe we'll have Dylan put the link in the description down below for that. This thing works great, man. I've put quite a few rib nuts in now. I'm still trying to figure out this adjustment part on how much you can actually pry on this thing. Because I've stripped a couple of them out. Actually putting these in, I stripped one out too. So I got to read a little bit and figure out this adjustment part and how much you crimp it.